Buenas tardes, people, and welcome to the 12th class of the first Spanish Every Other Day course, the alphabet. Today we're going to talk about the letter T. We're going to remove the ts sound from the English T and turn it into a Spanish T. How are we going to do that? Let's talk about the info. First of all, the letter T, only one way to say it, thankfully. It's not ve, it's not ve, and it's not de. We're very grateful for that, aren't we? However, yes, there is a challenge. We have a problem when we think, oh, it's just like English. But it ain't. It's not like English. So, how do we overcome this challenge? Well, let's identify the challenge a little more so that we can hear it when we go wrong. Here's a tongue twister for you to video record right now. Please get out your video recorder. You can pause this video if you need to, so that we can figure out how to say the te without saying te as we do in English. Can you hear the difference? We're going to be working on trying to hear the difference so that we can correct the difference. So you have your video, right? So put it closer to you. Put it as close as possible to your mouth, because what you're going to want to see is your tongue. So let's do the challenge. Tito toma té, tita toma mate, y yo me tomo toda mi taza de chocolate. Now, the other way of saying it, and the way we want to avoid saying it, if at all possible, is Tito toma té, tita toma mate, y yo me tomo toda mi taza de chocolate. That's the learner way of saying it, and we want to improve that. So if you hear tss, that's the problem. I'd like you to listen to your recording. You can pause the video right now. Listen to the recording. What do you hear? Do you hear, or do you actually hear tss when you say Tito? For instance, Tito toma té. Do you hear that extra tss sound? Or are you saying it Tito toma té? Tito toma té or Tito toma té? You should hear a softening effect in that second one. So we're trying to get rid of the tss sound. All right? How can we fix this? Rather easily, thanks to one of my favorite grammar books for Spanish, and believe it's in Italian and German, I think, French, 1001 Pitfalls in Spanish. It's an excellent book. I like it because not only does it tell me what I'm doing wrong, but why I think it's right. And that's what we need to do. We need to fix our thinking in order to be able to correct it. So here's the suggestion that they gave when it comes to pronouncing the te in Spanish. Let's try to say the letter te as we would in the English word stand. So say stand. Now I know you hear an S sound at the beginning, but you don't hear a ts sound when we get to the te. You can't hear it as if it were, for instance, the word talk. You hear t, or territory. But stand, you don't get that sound. So let's say the word stand. Stand. Now say it again, but let's freeze as we finish saying the letter S. or S rather. We say stand. Did you hear it sound? Nope. Let's try that again. Again, freeze after you say the letter S. And just as you're about to say the letter T. Stand. What do you hear? No t's sound. So what's the deal? When we say the English T sound, as in talk, you can't see a curl to the tongue. You can't even see the tongue. Talk. All you see is teeth because the tongue is completely inside. You don't have to open your mouth to say a T. Plus, the tongue is spread out along the roof of the mouth when you go t. I can also feel perhaps just a little bit of a bump towards the back of the throat and up at the top of my mouth, right around the back of the throat when you say T. But the tongue is kind of spread out along the roof of the mouth when we go talk or territory. However, when we say the Spanish te, you end up curling your tongue. Te. Te. Let's try that word stand again. Do you feel the tip of your tongue touching either the upper juncture between your upper teeth and upper gum, or the upper roof of the mouth rather, or your lower teeth and the gum right there? That's where I feel my tip of the tongue when I say stand. Stand. Let's try a weird thing, a weird kind of exercise. I'd like you to use your video app. Get your video app, get your camera, or whatever video app you use. You're putting it on record. Let's say a couple of Spanish words that begin with the letter te, but we're going to start them as if they began with the letter S. For instance, the word we're going to use, the first word we will use is the word tópico, but we're going to spell it with an S at the beginning, and we're going to say stópico. And then let's make that long pause between the S, and the te. Just as we did with stand, let's do this. Let's do stand first, just to remember how to do it. Stand. Now let's go tópico. 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 And now tópico. Tópico. Remember where the te was, or the T was, when we said stand. Don't stop the air flowing, just let it build up behind the tongue before you let it out. Let's try that again. Tópico. 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 Now, tópico. Tópico. You should be recording yourself. Keep recording yourself. Did that work for you? Really? Did it really work for you? Well, just in case, let's try it again. Tópico. 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 Now just tópico. Tópico. Now you've been recording with your video app, right? All of this. We're talking about the difference between saying tópico and tópico, or tarifa and tarifa, or teléfono and teléfono. Oops. Sorry. So we need to be able to hear the ts and the t. There's a difference between the two. Let's work on some homework. Okay, so you'll need your dictionary and your video app and your friendly neighborhood, helpfully critical native Spanish-speaking friends for this one. I'd like you to open your dictionary to the entries for the letter T, anywhere. Turn your video app on. In fact, you can hold it inside of your your dictionary so that as you're reading, you can see what you're doing. Or your video app will see what you're doing. Your video app will record what you're doing so that you can see the way your mouth is moving. So read 10, even an entire column of words, such as, for instance, I'm on tópico, topo, topocho, topografía, topón, topónimo, toposo, toque, tórax, torbellino, torbellino, torcedura, torcer. Although, let's avoid words with ere. Okay? Let's just avoid words with ere for now. That's coming up. It's the next to last learning lesson. And when you've recorded those words, I'd like you to ask your friends to record them for you also. So you listen to those words, you imitate what they've done, and you record. You listen, you imitate, and record again. So what are you hearing? Are you hearing título or título? Are you hearing total or total? Are you hearing tutela? Excuse me. Sorry about that. Okay, yeah, I think it's, I think my video app went a little bit crazy on me. Sorry about that. What are you hearing? Let's get back to the real world. Are you hearing título or título? Are you hearing total or total? Are you hearing tutela or tutela? Which one do you want? Or you want soft? You want a soft T. If you're having problems with hearing it or saying it, write down 6 of those words, preferably ones without ere, and even worse, R in them, and then try the stand technique on them. For instance, instead of saying total, say total. Total. Just as you would say stand. Instead of saying tutela, say tutela, as if you would say stand. Now, the interviews are not going to fit into your 5-minute practice sessions, of course, but the dictionary words will. So have at it, keep at it. Keep at it. As a non-native speaker, as non-native speakers, we all need improvement. There's always something in which we can improve. And of course, the more we improve, the more pleasant it will be for our listeners to listen to us, and the easier communication will flow between both parties. And that's our goal. Next up, the calm before the double storm of ere and erre, gegi, keki. Hasta la próxima.